Hey, what's up guys, the French Monkey here, and I just wanted to make a quick video to let you know that the open source project, the everyday open source project is back online. I am now a Blender user, I guess. So I started Blender a couple of weeks ago, to be more specific, like 24 days ago. And so there's a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, but I am back on creating daily content, open source content for the community. So first of all, why did I get into Blender after being in Cinema 4D for like, I don't know, 7 years? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One of them is that I got to a point in Cinema 4D where I couldn't really create anymore. I don't know why exactly. And a lot of things happened in my life for the past 3 years. But after doing thousands of projects inside of Cinema 4D, I just got into a point where I just couldn't design anymore. I kind of emptied out the possibility that I had into Cinema 4D. And, I need to say also that I never really got into the geometry node and a couple of new systems that Cinema 4D introduced a couple of years ago. But I was bored inside of Cinema 4D. And apart from that, I got to a point where I couldn't justify the price of Cinema 4D, which is about around 700 or even more if you account Redshift per year. I need to state also that I've never been a freelancer, so I've never really gained money from my 3D. Everything that I've been doing in 3D have been just open source. So yeah, you can see here on my side that since 2016 I've been providing all of my projects for free. And I think right now the Cinema 4D project has around 2.5 million downloads, which is a lot. And it's been an amazing journey. And I'm not sure if I've made a video about that already, but so many things happen thanks to that project. And, I'm always going to be grateful. But of course, good things end at some point. And so after the 1,000 project cap that I put myself back in 2016 to achieve, I just got to a point where I did not know really how to advance from that point on. And, back in 2016, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put everything on Patreon, and I will figure out a way to gain a membership audience and be able to have a monthly income from that. And that never happened. I don't know why. It's this kind of thing that you need to be very lucky to actually succeed on Patreon. It's very hard for an artist to be able to make a proper living out of Patreon. So I tried that for a lot of years, but it just never happened. So right now, TFMSTYLE has the biggest library of open source project for Cinema 4D, and I've tried a couple of stuff. I've tried to kind of open up my horizon. I tried to contact, and we had a lot of talk with Maxon to be able to introduce some of those projects organically into Cinema 4D. Add some of this project inside of Cinema 4D asset browser. But we kind of talk back and forth with some people back then, and it never ended up to anything. So since I wasn't really a freelancer, I wasn't doing any jobs inside of Cinema 4D, I couldn't really justify the $700 subscription to Cinema 4D. And since I couldn't really grow this project into anything even after 1,000 days, and I also couldn't make a living from those projects on Patreon, I got to a point where I just couldn't continue anymore. I just got to a point where I had to find other avenues, and I tried I got into pretty much everything else. But yeah, in the end, I just always loved creating project and just giving everything for free. That's just my thing, right? And I've never really been good at marketing. I suck at it, right? I've never done any sponsor or promotion or stuff like that. Thankfully, I came up with uh, a couple of good products. So the product thing has never been something that I had in mind, but it just came organically, because to provide all of these files, you need to have a library of assets that you can actually use. So yeah, back in 2016, I already came up with a couple of products, and the first one that I had were the Voltaic, the Tekit, and the Retina. So these three products alone helped me out a lot to be able to, to make a living out of it. And since then, I came up with many more products, and yeah, the landscape packs, great resource, the 3D asset packs, which are also great resource, and I came up with a couple of plugins for Cinema 4D, which have been a lot of help for many designers. And you can actually see that on my site if you go to the showcase page. So I love promoting other artists that are doing stuff using my products, and I've seen my products pretty much everywhere now. I've a couple of years back, I saw the Retina pack used on a Netflix show, which was amazing. And yeah, I love seeing creations from other artists. So if you've been using my products and you have uploaded your work on Instagram, be sure to hit me up, and I would love to just add here a link back to that post, and of course the product that you used. So yeah, I found a way to make a living thanks to my products, and for 10 years these have been my only source of income. And I got to a point back in 2022 where everything kind of stopped abruptly like that. In a month I lost like 70% of my sales, because the lockdown were lift. And yeah, I guess, I don't know, with the surge of AI and things like that, there was not a lot of demand for this type of products. I think, that's my guess. The other issue is that I wasn't really doing daily projects anymore, so I didn't had any traffic on my social media. And since I wasn't marketing any of that, everything kind of died down slowly. So yeah, I got to a point where I tried to find other avenues. uh, One big thing that I had in mind that I wanted to create was the bridge application. So it took me a lot of months to create my own application. I've done everything from scratch, just to be able to provide in another way all of my assets. And yeah, so I created in I think back in 2023, I launched the first version of the TFMSTYLE Bridge application. And my thought was very simple: provide all of my asset with a subscription, which was around $10. And my goal was to reach 50. I just needed 50 members to make this work, right? To gain around, a minimum wage here in Greece, at least, which was $700. And in my mind, I was like, all right, I have around 50,000 emails, right? Because during all those years, I've gathered a lot of emails from some of the free packs that I had, so from my products as well, and with the open source project, I have a lot of emails. And I was like, you know what? I need just 1% of them to be subscribed. And yeah, I just need 50 members to be subscribed to the Bridge application to make it a viable product, a minimum viable product, and from there I would be able to provide new assets every month and work, full time on the application. But after a year of work, I released the application, and it was the biggest flop I ever done. you know, there's never been a more shitty start to anything that I've done ever. And well, there's a lot of reasons why. First of all, it was a subscription based product, and these are always going to be a hit or miss, right? Without a huge amount of marketing behind it, it's never going to succeed, no matter what you're trying to sell. But I didn't know that at that time. I thought I had a great product, which is a great product. I've had a lot of testers for the app before it went live. A lot of designer were using it, but yeah, it never worked. I never had more than 10 subscribers, and a lot of them had a promotional code to have the bridge access at a discount. And after a couple of months, I got to a point where, yeah, this is not going to work. So I need to I need to figure out once again, another avenue. So between that time, a lot of thing happened. I got into such a big depression state. For a couple of years, I was like really lost. I didn't know what to pursue anymore. I also lost my mother to cancer. So for a year, I had that anxiety in mind. She passed away in 2023. So a couple of months after the release of the first version of the app. So yeah, after that, I kind of, did nothing for a couple of months, and then I wanted to get into game design. So I did get into Unreal Engine for a couple of months. I created my first game prototype, which was a simple marble game, and I created a whole procedural map creation blueprint. And yeah, for some reason, I wanted to clean up my Unreal Engine file, some of the blueprints, and I accidentally deleted something, and I lost my master blueprint. I lost everything, and there was no way to recover that. And man, I got depressed again, and I kind of stopped everything for 6 months. And yeah, so after that, of course, I figure out, what, let's work on the application again. I released 2024 the version 2 of the application, which is now open to all customers, which means that if you already own a pack, you can log in into the application and just unlock it from there. And yeah, so that was a way that I was able to kind of make a use of the application without, completely deleting all of the work that has been done already. I also introduced the partner tab, which are a lot of my good friends that also sell products, and we made a deal that I will, promote and showcase the product on the application. And if you already own some of these products from these artists like Observer Doyle, Diz Viper, Studio XS, Tuki, Shipper Render, and the VDB of Mitch Meyer, you can actually unlock them directly on the bridge and have access to each asset directly on the application. So yeah, that was one way to kind of make a use out of an application that was dead before launch. So yeah, so far the application has been great. I heard only great words from that, but I'm not making any money from that. It's actually costing a lot of thing. And the other issue that I had for many years was the cost of hosting this huge library of open source files. Back in 2000, late 2024, I made the I decided to host everything on Gumroad, which has been a lifesaver and which also give me the opportunity for the first time to actually uh, ask for donations, which I wasn't really able to for many years. So now I'm actually getting some donation, and I can actually show you here. So this is the analytics for the last 30 days in on Gumroad for the project, for the everyday open source project. So as you can see, there's been 1,400 downloads, 5,000 views, and a total of $60 donation. So these are fairly low analytics, very low numbers, because it's a little bit harder to download those files. For since 2016 until 2024, I had a just one-click download on the site, and you could download all of those projects without having to log in. But that actually ended up costing me a lot of money per month. I used to have my Amazon S3 buckets, and the bandwidth used to cost around $150 to $200 per month, because it's a big library, right? There's around 100 to 120 gigabyte of files, and with one-click download means that anyone can download these files. It's a lot easier, and I used to have around 10 to 15,000 downloads per month. So yeah, I had to find an alternative because I was just losing money by providing an open source project, which is, it is what it is, right? But it's always been my goal. I always wanted to keep those project files for free. So now on Gumroad, it's a little bit harder for people to actually download those files, because you need to put the let's try to download something, right? You need to, first of all, there's a system with the name a fair price on Gumroad. So of course I have a predefined amount, but you can pretty much put anything you want. So in this case, I want to download this for free, so I'm going to put 0. I want this, and next you will have to input your email and download the project. So there's a couple more steps, but hey, I'm really glad that I was able to figure out the bandwidth and the donation system. So now everything is automatic, and it doesn't cost me anything, right? So yeah, that's set up. And now, I'm finally back on my feet, after 3 years of depression. I couldn't design, I couldn't do anything that worked. So I decided to go back to my roots and just do what I know and what have worked already in the past, which is just, making daily projects. And yeah, so I am now inside of Blender. I've been wanting to get into Blender for many years, but I always been kind of intimidated by the UI. And the thing that helped me out a lot is that before getting into Blender, I started Houdini. So I decided, you know what? Since I'm not going to use Cinema 4D anymore, let's get into Houdini to see, what's the deal with that. And I tried to do a daily project with Houdini, but the thing is, it's a lot harder to come up with different setups every single day, and try to do simulations every single day. It takes a lot more time, and just I wasn't really feeling it. Houdini, I don't think it's the right path for an everyday project. So yeah, I did like 3 weeks of it, and I stopped. And after that, I got into Blender, and I was surprised by how. So let's get into Blender here. I was surprised by the speed of Blender. I got 1 week after the 4.5 Vodken update. So yeah, I'm just amazed by Blender. You know, I I don't know why I was so afraid to get into it, but man, uh, it's it's great. It's amazing, actually, right? I got into the geometry node since I was doing geometry node in Houdini, and it was very easy to get started. Yeah, I don't know if it's because of me. I don't know if it's because I actually have knowledge into this type of softwares, or if because I've been doing design for so many years, or because there's actually a lot of content and tutorials out there already for Blender. But I find uh, it's just a great software, right? It's really fast. It's faster than Cinema 4D for most part, and it just makes sense, right? So, and I decided to do 3-day project series where every 3 days I will work on something specific. So as you can see here, I'm working with balls. Here I'm working with extrusions. Here I'm working with mesh decimate and wireframe subdivided. Here I'm working on a couple of animation. So this is noise driven animation. Here we have the refraction glass, and here are some planetary renders. And yeah, it's been very easy to manage those files, to create those files, and actually share those. And yeah, so to recap, the everyday project is back. It's something that I always love to do. So I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I've proven that this project have been a useful source of knowledge for many designers. And you know what? I wish I could do only that, right? I would be happy to do this for the rest of my life. But there's no money in open source stuff when you are a very small team and when you don't have any marketing plans. So I had to come up with something extra to be able to make that income actually a living situation for me. And I decided to just bring back my Patreon. So this is the same Patreon that I had for since 2016, and it kind of died down because I actually started to upload everything on my own site and not use Patreon, because on Patreon, as I said, I've never been able to make a living out of it. I had amazing supporters along the years. There's just been so many amazing members that have been a part of this project for so many years, and it's amazing that to this day I still have people subscribed to my Patreon and providing money for this project, and it's just amazing. But I wish I could actually make this worth your while a little bit more. So I've decided to kind of rebrand my Patreon and bring a couple of new perks. So first of all, I have 3 tiers available. So everyday project supporter, supporter plus, and supporter plus plus. So the first perk you will have in any of these membership is that your name will appear directly on the site. So this is pretty much where everyone gets to check out the project and then load those projects. So you will have your name here. After that, I will also be creating a lot of different tutorials and behind the scene of every project, 3-day projects. So I will have a video for these 3 projects, a video for these 3 projects. I will dive down inside of those project files, show you exactly what I did to be able to create those. So yeah, that's amount to 10 videos per month. So these are going to be long videos, right? About an hour each, because I want to recreate kind of the system that I have, the node geometry node system, and showcase some of the texturing and lighting things that I've done to achieve that, as well as the color correction. This is also something that have been asked of me to showcase a little bit more. How do you color correct your images inside of Photoshop? So I will have also dedicated videos on that topic. And for the third tier, which is 1350, I still don't know what else I can bring, but I will figure out something else. But yeah, you know, look, in the end, I'm a pretty egoistic guy. I've never asked anyone for help, publicly, and it's not something that I've ever done. I always try to figure out on my own how to make things work. That's how I've been able to pretty much live the way that I do, doing exactly what I wanted without getting into the freelancing career. And I've been a freelancer in photography for many years and videographer as well. But in 3D, I wanted to um, do my own thing, right? So if this doesn't work, I would figure out something else. But I just want this to work for a couple of years, man. I just need a couple of years without any anxiety, just pure love on the subject, just creating, right? And providing everything that I can, even more that I can for the community. And I'm sure the ultimate goal of TFM Style and the goal that I had for many years has been very simple. Like, I want to be able to finally have two of my very good friends on board of TFM Style, be able to provide them a living as well, because they are very good at what they are doing, and I wish um, I could get at a point where I finally get the help that I need to be able to run everything that I want for TFM Style. So yeah, I've been away for 3 years. A lot of things happen, as a designer. We all get into this kind of dry era where nothing's really inspire us, and especially now with all this AI surge and automatic workflows, I think that now is the time to actually see, what matter most, and human contact. I will make other videos about AI and how I see it personally, and yeah. So expect a lot more content on the TFM channel. I have a couple of tutorials that I will publicly post, and other than that, I hope I will see you on Patreon. From tomorrow, a lot of stuff are going to be uploaded for the first 10 series that I already have on Blender, to showcase pretty much everything that I've done so far. Right now, I have 24 open source projects for Blender that you can check out. So the next video I will be uploading on the channel will be kind of my hot tips as a new Blender user, things that help me out, figure out how to work with Blender coming from Cinema 4D or Houdini. So yeah. Also, I had to recreate my Twitter account because I had to delete it in the hype of NFT craze. I had to just, get out of it. So I recreated my Twitter account, my X account, sorry. So yeah, TFM Style on X. Be sure to follow me. It's a fresh account. I'm just posting my everyday projects there. So yeah, be sure to follow me on Instagram as well at the French Monkey. For some reason, my Instagram has been dead. It's I don't know what they did with the algorithm, but man, I'm having a hard time, reaching 20 to 30 likes, which is crazy. But yeah, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook as well, if you are using it. If you have any questions at all, be sure to ask me on Instagram, or if you have issues about some products, about the bridge application or something more formal, be sure to ask me on via email from the site. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Be sure to subscribe, right? I need to say that now. Now I will become a proper YouTuber, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.